Good afternoon, paper crafters. This is Therese Burdette from Therese's Stampin' Addiction, and I'm coming to you from Brandenburg, Kentucky, from the Stampin' Addiction studio. And today I'm going to continue my series of the Sunniest Stories Stampin' Up Scrapbook Workshop Kit. And we are, as we were in the past, we're working backwards. So today we are going to be doing layout number 3 on here. And today I'm going to focus on showing you how to adapt a scrapbook kit to the pictures that you actually have, because the diagrams don't always match the pictures that you want to use on the page. And that's the case that I'm going to be showing you today. But before we get started, I want to tell you about my birthday special. Between now and August 15th, if you place a $50 order with me at Therese, T-E-R-E-S-E _Burdette, B-U-R-D-E-T-T-E .stampin, S-T-A-M-P-I-N, up.net. And so if you place a $50 order with me, product order, you'll get a random pack of retired embellishments. If your order is $100 or more, you'll be getting ribbon and the embellishments. So if you would like to take advantage of that, this is the perfect time, because right now Stampin' Up is running a 15% sale off of selected designer series paper, cardstock, two-tone cardstock, a lot of the 11 by 8.5 cardstock. This is the perfect time to stock up. So if you place an order with me by the end of the day on Saturday, you can double dip and get my special as well as Stampin' Up special. So thank you very much for listening to my little commercial. So let's get started on the scrapbook workshop. And we're going to start with the first layout. And this is the paper that we're going to be using. And it has it's white, but you really can't tell, but it's like got some, I don't know, let's see if you can see this. It has little, like, it reminds me of snowflakes, but I know it's not. So let's see here. Let's get this camera squared away. And let's get started here. I've done a lot of the prep work, a lot of the punching to save some time today. But the first thing we are going to do is take one of these 4x6. I believe this is, let's see if this is 4. Yeah, these are 4x6 cards that come in the kit. There's several of them. And it appears that when we are done with the workshop, we will have extras. So they will be perfect for enhancements, accents on other scrapbook pages, or if you're a card maker, they're perfect size to adapt to use for cards. So we're going to kind of lay this out. I want to get started here. The diagram shows some green paper, and I could not find the green paper that's on here. So I am going to adapt. I am going to kind of go rogue on here, and we're going to use something else. And so I'm going to look real carefully at the other ones that I have to make sure that I am not using something that I'm going to need later on. So these are not pieces that I'm going to be using in the next 2 layouts. So let's go ahead and use that. And the colors all coordinate. That's the fantastic thing about Stampin' Up's workshop. The whole Stampin' Up product family, everything is color coordinated. And it's one of the things that I really love about Stampin' Up, because I don't have to worry about searching for different types of things that I'm going to need. Okay, so let's go ahead and layer this over here. Got my trusty Tombow glue. I love Tombow glue because it is so reliable. I think it will last through an atomic war because it really stays on your paper. And also, if you make a mistake in lining it up, it has a lot of flexibility. So you have a little bit of wiggle room. And that's why I really like using Tombow glue. And if you live in a high humidity area like I do here in north central Kentucky, sometimes tape runner will actually peel off in the heat if your items are in the heat. Okay, so we have this little diagram right here. And isn't it cute? It really looks nice. We did a good job, I think, adapting this. Now here is an extra piece that we cut from one of the past 2 weeks, I think about 2 weeks ago, from that workshop. So I am going to glue this up here, like the diagram shows. Now, of course, it's showing that you're going to have little tiny pictures. And I do not have little tiny pictures because I am going to continue to use pictures from my trip to Kentucky Down Under, which is just outside of Mammoth Cave National Park. And it is a wildlife park that has kangaroos that you can walk through their pen and pet them and love on them, and they are the sweetest things. So I went with my grandchildren, and so I have some pictures that I've been using this kit with. So I'm going to continue to use this, and so I'm going to use these two pictures right here. They had all of these tree sculptures that were really cool. So I'm going to lay out my pictures like this, and not the way the workshop diagram showed me. And when I use my pictures, I don't like to use glue when I'm attached. I am picky, and I love the Stampin' Seal. It's very strong, and it will last. Hopefully, I have not had any pictures peel off of that. So let's go ahead and put that down. It's much stronger than the Tombow tape runner that Stampin' Up used to sell several years ago. They developed this one. It's their own proprietary tape runner, and it is really strong. So I'm going to overlap these just a little bit. There we go. And this kit is perfect for a beginner scrapbooker because it takes the intimidation away from having to think of a design all on your own. These workshops are designed so that you can just follow the diagrams. They do not have words in them, instructions, and that's because Stampin' Up is international and they are in several different countries, and it saves a little money on having to translate it into several foreign languages. So we are going to put the word big down here, and then there's going to be a smile. It's going to go right there. And then today is your day. And the kids just loved this place. So I'm going to go ahead and use my Stampin' Seal. and to start to put some of these words down. These are great. I'm going to hang this over the photo a little bit. And I think I'm going to go back to Tombow glue for the smile. I hope everybody's having a wonderful summer. Or if you're watching this on YouTube at a different time, maybe a different year, whatever season you're in, I hope you have a wonderful day and that you're having a wonderful life. Everything's always a wonderful thing when you're up in the craft room, being creative. I had my birthday last week, and I had one of the best birthdays ever. My friend Brenda came over from Louisville, and we created in the paper crafting room all afternoon, and it was such a wonderful day. I really enjoyed my birthday day that way. Doesn't get much better than paper crafting. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and now we're going to add some other ephemera embellishments. And here is a leaf. And then we have this little flower. These are punched. I did the punch outs in advance because sometimes it wastes time on a video hunting around on the ephemera for exactly what you need. Let's see here. And I used up my yellow or the pink flower that's shown in the diagram on a different layout. So I'm going to go ahead and use this one instead. And Murphy's Law is going to tell me that I'm going to need it next week on my layout, but I will adapt again because this is my scrapbook page and I can do whatever I want, right? So then we have another yellow flower down here. Add that right there. And then we need a little flower sticker from the sticker page. So we have some yellow flower stickers right here. And let's add that right underneath here. Okay. Now all I need to do later on is to go back and do some journaling. And I might just do some journaling right here. I have a stamp with some journaling lines. Stamp it there and talk about all of the tree sculptures that were there. So there's page 1 of layout 3. See how easy that was? It didn't take us very much time at all to get that one completed. So let's move on to the second page of the layout. And that one we are going to use, excuse me, we need a strip of, I'm going to have to cut this out, a stripe strip that's going to go down the center. And we had a whole page of these border stripes. So let's go ahead and get this cut out. And this is another thing that you're going to have extra pieces left over at the end that you can use on other projects, because I'm 99% sure that you're not going to use those up on the other layouts. And it looks like this is off center. So I'm going to put it at the 8-inch mark here on, so that leaves 4 inches over here to the side. So let me go ahead and get my trusty Tombow green glue out again. And just remember, don't use a lot. You don't want your paper to warp with too much glue. There we go. Yeah, if you do not have a scrapbook, a 12 by 12 pad when you're doing scrapbook, I advise that you get one because they really help you in making your lines straight. I got this one. This is a really nice one. It grips your paper. I got it from scrapbook.com, and it comes in a set of 2, so you can have two 12 by 12 layouts right next to each other if you're an overachiever and like to work on more than one thing. So it looks like we have another 4 by 6 sheet right here. This is something that's already come pre-cut in the workshop kit, and that's going to be placed there. Then we have this really nice, this is a cute idea. Remember the library cards from back I'm dating myself of how old I am, but back in my day, the librarian stamped this and you had to sign it, and it told you when your due date was to go back. So then there is a pocket that comes in the ephemera punch outs, and in the library books all had these little pockets that that was on the back of the books. Okay, so it looks like you're gonna fold this in, and if I could find my bone folder, which here it is, let me go ahead and burnish this. Then I'm going to add a little bit of glue right here, because what's going to happen is this library card is going to go inside, and this will be the perfect journaling piece to talk all about what happened when we went to Kentucky Down Under. I'll talk about the golf cart that we rode around in when we went to this place. Okay, now here is the picture that I'm going to use. So let's go ahead and get this down first. Add a little bit more Tombow glue. Okay. All right. Add that there. Then we are going to add the picture, and I'm going to use my tape runner, my trusty Stampin' seal. And we're going to place this up here, and I'm going to make it a little off-center because this is off-centered, and that will balance things out on the page. Then it looks like we have some words, and there in the ephemera is something that says living the best life. And my granddaughter was definitely living the best life that day when she got to go pet all this wildlife. One of the cutest things in this wildlife park was a zebu. I've never heard of a zebu, but it's like a type of cow, miniature cow. And we got to go into the pen and just love on it. It was so sweet. And I don't know where the picture of the zebu is. Otherwise, I would have been scrapping that today. So maybe that'll be my assignment between this week and my live next week, is to find that zebu and add it to next week's layout. Because I have plenty of pictures that I need to scrapbook from that day. It was one of the funnest days I had had in a long, long time. Okay, so next thing, I need to add some flowers. You can see here on the page, we have a couple of flowers that needed to be added. So let's go ahead and just, before I actually do this, let's pull out some flowers and add them to this. Once again, it's calling for a pink colored flower, but I do not know. We do not have any. I do not know. I must have used them all up on a different different page already. But that's all right, because I'm just gonna, I have plenty of others, and I'll just adapt. We have this yellow right here. Add a leaf there. And I think I'm gonna add this one right here. Make a nice little cluster. I'm going a little rogue from the instructions, and that's okay, because this is my page and I can do whatever I want on my page. Okay, so let's pull out the sticker sheet. We are going to need this little tab, and we're going to put it above this saying. It says living the best life. Goes right there. Then we need one little flower sticker that's going to go right up here. And let's go ahead and add this flower down here. I'm going to put this half on and half off. I'm going to add this leaf. There we go. Little flower cluster there. Now the instructions have has numbers, but that doesn't really apply to my day at the wildlife park. So I'm going to leave that alone and not add that. The next thing, there is a word that says love this, and I'm going to add that down here. And add it right here. And I think I'll mix it up and use a little bit of Stampin' Seal here. There we go. Then we are going to, shows another file under fun. The instruction shows reading lists, but that's not appropriate for these pictures, and they've given us plenty of other wording that we can use. So I am going to add file under fun. Here we go. Put that right there. And I need another flower right down here. And I am out of flowers. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut this one out right here. This flower square. Because I have not had to use this yet. And the color goes, and I think what I'll do is I'll set this as a diagonal, since everything seems to be askew on here. There we go. The only thing I have left to do is add the journaling for this wonderful day. And here we go. We have a 2-page layout that we finished in under 30 minutes. So here is the layout for today. And thank you for tuning in. And as always, have a happy crafting week. See you next Thursday. Bye.